Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you remember this? No US troops in Ukraine? There will be no US troops in Ukraine fighting the Russians or anything like that. Remember? Well, some of us, knew that was bullshit. Why? Because that's what they do. They did it the same when they talked about F-16s, about tanks, about infantry vehicles, about howitzers, Patriot, long-range, short-range missile systems. All these things were, no, there's going to be an escalation. And each and every time they did it. Because that's how they do it. Mountain slope theory or whatever method that I'm talking about. That's what they do, my friends. That's what they do. They start slow and then eventually they let us know what they have decided a long time ago. Now it's time for the US to think about sending US troops to Ukraine. It's a possibility. So they already go back up with a model. Oh, we're gonna go. Who? A Democrat leader says that, well, we might have to send troops in Ukraine if Ukraine loses. What do we have to do with Ukraine? They're fighting for our freedoms, they say. I don't believe that. That's garbage. That's bullshit. That's a lie. I think the Russians are fighting actually for certain rights and certain, freedoms more than we stand for. I think they are having certain kind of values that these guys are perverting. Just think about it. Put the family first, and then you're going to find out the rest. Russia Today, May 6, 2024. Democrat leader warns U.S. troops could enter Ukraine conflict. So they talk about it. I'm not going to go again into this. I explained many times what the mountain slope model is. Start slow and then prepare the baboons' brains. We're going to have troops over there. So when you're going to say it, we're going to announce it, the decision we took a long time ago, you are prepared, like a steak before you put it on the grill. I explained that with marinated, seasons, and all that. So what's going on here? A military defeat for Kiev might compel Washington to send service members to the country. I told you these guys want to go to war. I told you these guys. Why? Because this imbecile over there, elected official, he's not going to fight the war. You're going to fight the war. Your children, your brothers, your husbands, these are going to fight the war. Not his. No, he's going to have you. He's going to command from behind. He's going to fuck you from behind. Let's put it this way. And when or if the Russians come closer and he's a little bit pinched, stop. Let's talk now. The minute they get touched negatively, influenced negatively as a reaction of their garbage, they will stop. But in the meantime, let them go. Let them eat cake, right? All right, let's go back to this one. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries has said the U.S. may have to deploy troops to Ukraine if Kiev suffers a complete collapse against Russia. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has warned. What if you guys, or you, Jeffries, what if you decide that Europe has to pay you some reparations and Europe doesn't want? Are you going to fucking nuke them? As long as you have the US military in your grip, will you do that? I guarantee you they will. Think about it. Think about it. A victim of abuse tends to abuse once it's in power, more than a person who was never a victim of abuse. There are studies suggesting that, or claiming that, or really exposing that. Not me, I'm just a messenger here. So be afraid to promote certain so-called victims into positions that they can fuck you up, perceiving that, oh, you are actually someone that you did something to someone else in the past. I'm not affected. Now I'm in charge. I'm going to give you some retribution. Be careful. This country has nuclear weapons. And if you get some people very frustrated about something that they should not be, they will retaliate. So think about it. I see this in a 98% possibility. And they're going that way. Look who's in charge of the military in the United States of America. If that is true, that indeed those guys are in charge, which they are. I mean, military is a very hierarchical, based on you follow the order, otherwise you go and you're going to be court-martialed. So you're going to follow orders. So let's say Austin and other imbeciles over there, what's his name? Brown, General Brown, issue an order, who's going to stop the order? Who's going to not follow the order? Don't give me the ethical thing. Because if you talk about the how morally and ethical that order is, this guy should not have been fought in many, I don't want to call them wars, bombardments, invasions of countries like Iraq, bombardment of Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, Yugoslavia. If you talk about morality, no, they were not. I don't think they were. Not for now. That's going to be a different video. In an interview with CBS News released on Sunday, the senior Democratic lawmaker suggested that if Kiev cannot win the war, which cannot, with Russia using billions of dollars worth of U.S. military aid, Washington could potentially have to intervene directly in the conflict. And I'm quoting, "We can't let Ukraine fall." Who's we? I can. I know, I'm crazy. I can. I think Ukraine will be better off than what you have to offer. Because if it does, then there's a significant likelihood that America will have to get into conflict. Why don't you get the fucking conflict over there? Well, I'm leading from behind the fuck, okay? And you go and always like this, my friends. How is that? Iron and blood? Iron and blood? Is that what he said? Iron and blood. Who was that? The Prussian guy. What's his name? Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck. The German chancellor, wasn't he? We're going to achieve our unity through iron and blood. All right, well, by the way, your blood. Jesus Christ. So we can't let it. Yeah, you can't. And he says here, not simply with our money, but with our servicemen and our servicewomen. Especially, hey, you left other opportunities, or just to here, Jeffries, you're not right here. You're a hater. You know what I mean, right? And that's why anyway, man, they want to put you to work, that is to fight. I said this is gonna happen. I mean, they don't have any problem doing that. That's what I'm saying. This stance, however, contradicts the long-standing policy of US President Joe Biden, who reiterated last month that he was determined not to send, well, I can be determined, but I can fail, even if my determination is, I'm determined to win the world championship, and I lose in the first round, knocked out. Well, I was determined. And another thing that I learned in the United States of America is this. I changed my mind. Okay. Oh, it's acceptable. You change your mind, yeah. No, how do you call it? No quality. No class. I changed my mind. I said I will participate and I will help you. Well, I'm not showing up. I changed my mind. Okay, you're still outstanding citizen, right there. You're still good, yeah? No, you're a piece of shit. I know sometimes circumstances, make you change, but circumstances according to the situation. Well, I can't go and help you with this big task because I know my balls hurt or something. I mean, that's really important, but let's say, I don't know, tomorrow is Monday, so I can't do it. I mean, is that a reason? No, I have to use something. And you have to accept that because I changed my mind. But these guys, I just give you this. I changed my mind. When I hear this, I'm like, okay, well, that means there's no trust between people anymore, right? There's no, consistency. No, it's not. So yes, not to send troops. These guys will send you and I and our loved ones just like this. You don't think so? Remember, all those 55,000 or more young Americans who fought in Vietnam, they were sent over there, I think, by some criminals. Why? Because it was made on a lie. They were sent on the lie of Gulf of Tonkin. That was a known lie. That's a manufactured lie. They didn't care. They sent them. So whomever is right now thinking, oh yeah, the US government, oh the Pentagon, all the media, all these guys. Remember, those guys who unfortunately had their parents, or I know, their husbands, there's some still alive, or people who are still alive, who fought in Vietnam, they must know that they were not fighting the domino of the communism coming and taking your lifestyle. No, they didn't. They fought for other interests on a lie. Gulf of Tonkin incident. That made the Americans determine that little thing over there, we have to intervene. We can't. That's it. So anybody goes to the government, anybody changes the system, anybody does anything like that? Or they tweak it? No, no. And they just let it run as it's pure or something. And we still go and vote. And we still listen to the media. And we still listen to these guys telling us that we will have to fight. We will have to, our troops, our men and our women. And it's just one example. I'm not going to give you the first example, the First World War, Lusitania, the Second World War. I'm not going to give you the Second World War and the First World War full of ammunition and, on civilian vessels. And the U-boat fucked it up. Oh, evil Germans. What I talk about? You violated your neutrality. So don't give me this shit. And then I'm not going to go to the Balfour Declaration and others. All right, that had to drag these guys in the war because we had that interest. I don't care about how many fucking Europeans will die over there. I'm not European. I don't give a shit. I have my goal right here. And I squeeze these guys' balls here and there with money. And they will... We were attacked in Pearl Harbor, Emil. Are you crazy? Really? Don't be so naive. I was about to say something else. Don't be so naive. You know, if you prevent me from going and buying groceries to the stores where I buy groceries, what do you think I will do? I will fuck you up. And if you're bigger than me, I will try to do it in the middle of the night, from behind if I can. Like that. Why? My children are starving. Are you crazy? That was one of the reasons why those evil guys over there with Admiral Yamamoto and what's his name? What was his name? The defense minister of, I know his name by heart. I can't remember his name. The guy who was hanged after the Second World War, who said that Yamamoto was downed when his plane by the Americans shut down. They knew his coordinates, went, follow him, and boom, done it. So anyway, the guy was hanged, and the guy said, the defense minister or the war minister of Japan, in one of these meetings, he said that I'm a warrior, I'm a soldier, I'm supposed to fight wars, not to make peace here. That's what these guys are thinking the same way. What do you think? What the hell is his name, man? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I just know who the guy was. So these guys are going to get us in a war. I said this before. The Russians, let me show you. I just covered this a minute ago, right there. Russia announces nuclear weapons drills after row with senior Western officials. Putin orders tactical nuclear weapons drills after Lord Cameron imbecile's comments on Ukraine war. Putin orders nuclear weapons drill in response to Western threats. So yeah, imbecile right here. Yeah, you do that. You do that. Where do you think this is going to head? And when the Russians are going to use it and they're going to say, you're going to fuck your house, this Jeffries, he's going to say, oh, maybe it's time to talk to the Russians. Why? He got pinched a little bit. But you, thank you very much for being with me again today. No troops, that's my determination. That doesn't mean you're going to succeed. And I change my mind. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.